Alana Jaylo.
Yes, Rick
Yes.
Hammond.
So I was just telling you that I have not released any of our new stuff yet, just because I've been busy with other things. But I plan to start this week. So there will be a backlog of stuff released for the people.
Yes.
We've been watching some good stuff recently.
Yes, we have.
What did we watch last night? What did I show you the other night?
We watched Shawshank Redemption.
For the first time for you.
For the first time, because I don't remember watching it before. And what was it called?
Rushmore.
Rushmore. Thank you.
Yes. Let's start with Shawshank.
Okay.
It's a movie that I've wanted to show you for a long time.
Right.
Because I just sing its praises. It's just really, I think, an amazing film. What were your thoughts on the picture?
I didn't know what to think. There were some scenes that I did not want to hear because I know some of them were rough.
Like with the sisters.
Yeah, the sisters. Should we go into the sisters?
We can go into the sisters a little bit.
Maybe you should explain.
Okay, so Andy, who is played by Tim Robbins, goes to prison. And he's just trying to do his thing. But there's this prison gang called the Sisters. And they have their way sexually with some of the inmates, including Andy. And some nights he was able to fight them off, and other nights he wasn't. And there's some rough sounding stuff with them. And there's one scene to where Andy gets like beaten to within an inch of his life by the Sisters. And by this time he's already ingrained himself to the guards at Shawshank. So they take the head sister and they beat him so bad that he spends the rest of his life drinking through a straw.
And he can't walk.
And then the sisters never bothered Andy Dufresne again.
As Morgan Freeman narrates.
Yes.
His character, Red.
Yes.
Yeah. It was, so I didn't know what to think about it because I knew that it was going to be a rough movie, and it definitely was. When you told me it was uplifting, I didn't know whether I was going to agree with you or not, but it turned out to be uplifting, more uplifting than I thought it was going to be.
It's one of those movies that always leaves me with like a slight tear in my eye and a smile on my face.
Right.
You know, because you think of what Andy had to go through to become the man he was.
Now, I was talking to you about what I thought about the warden. And the warden is an interesting character because I thought, oh, what a kind old man. You know, he seems like he's very spiritual, very religious. But then you find out, you don't find out until much later in the movie that he really is a corrupt man.
I think there are signs of that, though, because you find out about his money laundering scheme.
Right, but yeah, there were signs of it, but you didn't, I didn't know what to think about him. I didn't know what to think about him first in the beginning because he goes to visit Andy's cell, and they're talking about Bible verses. And I was like, oh wow, he knows his Bible verses. So I thought, okay, what kind of a guy would be a warden in a prison? Well, then I found out. Then I found more about him, especially when he was dealing with one of the inmates, and I won't mention his name because it's later in the movie.
It is.
We'll be giving it away.
But it's also been 26 years, and if people haven't seen it, then I don't know what to tell them.
26 years, yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah, the warden was an interesting character, and so were the guards. Eventually they didn't bother Andy anymore because they were, Andy was helping them with their taxes, and Andy was a former banker,
I really like that he finds himself in this movie by going to prison.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
So, I would go through scene by scene, but I won't pressure you to do that. But some of the scenes that obviously stand out to me is when they're working on the roof, and the one prison guard is talking about how he inherited this money, and he goes to him and is like, how much do you trust your wife? The guy pulls a gun on him and is hanging him over the roof. They talk, and Andy says, I'll help you, but all I want is a couple of beers from you and my friends. Mm-hmm. So his friends drink, and Andy doesn't even drink at this point.
Yep.
Because of drinking kind of got him into Shawshank.
Right.
But it's kind of like a cool thing he did for everybody. He made them feel free.
Right. Right.
And then like there's later in the movie where he plays, was it the Marriage of Figaro over the loudspeaker?
I believe it was one of those operas. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, it was. He piped it onto the speaker. Yeah.
That was great. And the other thing is the stuff with the library.
Oh yeah, when he sent like a letter a week to the legislature,
Mm-hmm.
and then they finally gave him money, and then he sent like 2 letters a week.
So what happened is they donated some used books, and they said, "Hey, here's $200. You know,
Yep.
stop bothering us.
Stop
basically."
bothering us, right?
Because he had sent a letter a week for 6 years. So then he starts to send 2 letters a week, and they finally get to
They gave him like $500.
Yeah, they gave him an annual budget of $500.
$500, yep.
And he contacts all these book clubs and libraries and really starts building up the prison library system.
Yep.
And helps people get their GED.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the most heroic thing he does is the way he kind of rescues the mindset of Red.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that?
Well, I thought it was really interesting, especially when he was instructing Red, okay, when you leave, I want you to go to this place. I left something for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, well, obviously he didn't do it right then because he would have had to go. He would have to get that later.
Yeah, because there's a letter to Red, and he would have had to planted it afterwards.
Right.
And so I kind of think he spent the time in his hole, because he always knew that he was going to escape, but he didn't know what he was going to do.
Yep.
What the game plan would be after that. And I think that he spent his time in the hole really putting the pieces together of what his life was going to look like post Shawshank. And part of that was he wanted to hang out with Red some more.
Yeah, he was very smart. Very, very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Very innovative, very smart. Especially when he built that, he made that hole in the wall with the rock hammer, remember?
Yep.
I mean, who would have thought that? And he did it so quickly. It was more quick than Red ever thought he was going to.
Red thought it would take him 600 years.
It took him less than 20.
Yeah. Andy Dufresne. I thought it would take a man 600 years to get through that wall. Andy did it in just under 20.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so many great lines in that.
Yeah, because he wanted to get out. He knew that, you know, once he found out that he wasn't, you know, once he found out about himself, he wanted to leave. It was time for him to go.
Yes. We said another aspect of the movie, besides for the great acting, is prison life. You had some interesting thoughts about the way it portrayed prison life.
I thought it was a really realistic depiction of it because, you know, when you hear about prisoners leaving prison and like, oh, I'm so glad to get out, but I wonder, you know, the longer you're in prison, I wonder if the prisoner who's due to leave is like, I don't know how I'm going to handle it when I leave because I'm so used to these 4 walls. You know, I'm so used to being confined in a cell with all these people. How am I going to handle it?
These walls are funny. First you hate them, then you get used to them, then you can't live without them.
That's a quote.
Yep.
That's a quote.
Yep. And we see that with Brooks.
Yes.
Because he gets out and he ends up hanging himself.
And Brooks is this older guy that's been in prison for 50 years.
He takes care of the library. Yeah. He has a couple of birds. He has a crow. He gets out. He gets out. He kills himself. And then through a minor miracle, Red gets approved for release.
Right.
And you kind of think, well, Red might go the same route. Because at one point it shows him looking at things that he could steal to get back in the Shawshank. But then he decides to go to the place that Andy was talking about. Mm-hmm. And he finds what he's looking for. He finds the note, he finds the money, and he decides to join his friend in Mexico.
Yep.
That was such
even
a
though
great
he's even though he is violating parole violations.
Yeah, but also you got to remember this is the late 60s.
This was, yeah.
They didn't have the technology to track down ex-cons like they do now.
That's true, yeah.
And also Red was an older man at this point.
Yep. So he had every right to go. Well, he did it anyway.
He did it anyway.
But I did enjoy that movie, even though it was very hard to watch at times.
Yeah. I keep wondering, is the film Andy's redemption or is it Red's redemption? You know what I mean?
I think it's both.
I think it's both too.
I don't think it's just one person's redemption. I think it's both their redemption.
But Andy brings redemption onto Red.
Right.
Which I thought was so cool in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And redemption on other people because he helps a lot of people get their high school diplomas.
Right. Especially one of the newest inmates.
Yeah, and we don't have to go into every aspect.
We're not going to go into every aspect, but it especially one
yes.
of them, he tried to do that, yes.
But overall, it seems like you really enjoyed the film.
I did. It was, again, it was very hard, very rough to watch, but at the end, there was a happy ending.
An upbeat film about a man who goes to jail for life, wrongly accused of the murder of his wife and her lover. Great concept. Well executed.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you for letting me show you that film because I do realize that there was a lot of trepidation.
There was, yeah. Yes. I was kind of like wondering if I would really enjoy a movie about prison.
But you did.
Prison life. Yeah, I did.
Very good.
Yes, very good.
Then we watched a movie that I actually saw in the theaters when it first came out and have been a big fan of since, the film Rushmore.
That was a very weird, funny, and quirky movie.
I love that movie. Do you want to give some description of it?
It's about this kid. His name is Max Fisher.
Max Fisher.
Max Fisher, who happens to be Sofia Coppola's son. He said.
Jason Schwartzman, I think is his real name.
Jason Schwartzman. Fast talking guy. Tries to elevate himself.
And when we say kid, we should say he's like 15.
He's
when the movie
15.
starts. Yeah.
He's a kid. He's not an adult. He's a teen. So he's this fast talking guy. He tries to make, his life seem so great, but he doesn't really have a lot going for him except for Rushmore.
And Rushmore, do you want to tell people what that is?
Rushmore is the academy that he goes to. It's a ritzy academy for rich kids, right?
Yes.
And so the premise of the movie is that he meets this woman named Miss Cross. She's one of the teachers, and it's mainly about his relationship with her and Herman Bloom, who is played by the great Bill Murray.
This is my second favorite Bill Murray movie, which is saying a lot.
That is about his relationship with Miss Cross.
Yes.
And both of them, how they are kind of intertwined with each other. And then in the midst of that, he makes these weird plays. I mean, he doesn't have anything going for him with extracurricular activities, no girls.
Well, so we should say that at the start of the movie, he's part of all these clubs that Rushmore has, like the beekeeping club.
Right.
Every club they have, but he's like doing horrible in every class. And the only thing that he really excels at is writing these plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. and these plays are just weird concepts.
Yes.
All these other
one
things.
is about Vietnam. One is, I think, about like a drug deal, but they never really make it clear.
Right. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the movie? We should also say that it is a comedy.
It is quite a comedy. I thought there were some really, really funny scenes. You remember that one scene?
By the way, before then, what are you doing right now?
I'm just tying a bag.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, there's still a lot of bags.
Yes.
Anyway, so there was one scene where he he takes his broken, it's a broken bicycle, right? Because remember when
Bill Murray
runs over his
Herman Bloom runs over his bicycle as revenge. Yes.
And so he takes his bicycle to Miss Cross's house and makes it look like he got hit by a car.
Sneaks through her window.
Sneaks through her window to get inside?
Maybe not sneaks through her window, because she knew he was coming in, but he goes through her window.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, he goes through her window on coming in. Okay. And so she's trying to tend to his wounds because she thinks that he's really hurt. And meanwhile, he's trying to,
get his way.
Get his way or make a move or whatever. And she looks on his forehead and she's like, is that fake blood? Yes, it is. And it's raining outside, and she's like, "Goodbye, Max." And he's like, "Goodbye, Miss Cross." And he
Goes
leaves
back out through the window.
So wait. My understanding is he comes through the window and he leaves through the window.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Must be a big window.
I believe it is.
It probably is. It was funny. That was probably one of the scenes that made me laugh the hardest.
I love the stuff with his dad and how he.
Yes.
One scene I love. There's so many great scenes, but I love the scene at the beginning of the movie. Bill Murray gives a speech about how most of you are born rich and you're going to die rich, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes out to leave Rushmore, and Max Fisher, along with his buddy Dirk, go up to him, and Max says, "Hey, thank you. This is such a great speech." He leaves, and he says to the principal, "Who is that kid?" And he's like, "He's Max Fisher." And he's like, "Is he a good student?" And he's like,
"He's one of the worst students
He's
ever."
one of the worst students we have. I love that scene. I also love the scene where he wants to get this aquarium built for Miss Cross. Mm-hmm. So he goes to ask Herman for some money. And he says, "How much do you need?" Well, and he's like, "Well, I'm talking to this person, and I'm trying to get some piranhas. I'd say $35,000 to start." Yep. And he writes him a check, and he's like, "I'll give you $2,500." But another thing I like is the way it deals with his dad. So there's this great scene where Bill Murray and Max are watching wrestling. And he says, "I may not be a rich businessman. My dad's only a simple neurosurgeon, but we get by somehow."
Yes, because he wants to work. He asked Max to work for him.
Yes.
He's like, "I want you to work for me."
Yes.
He's like, "Well," that's hilarious. And so should I give a background on Dirk?
You can go ahead.
So they say in the movie that Dirk is Max's chapel partner. I have no idea what that is.
My assumption, what that means is, because I went through a K through 12 school, and it's implied that this is a similar setup, is that a chapel partner is basically an older student takes a younger student under his wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little brother.
Yeah, like a mentoring.
Right, a mentor, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, so I guess that's the implication, but I wasn't sure why they were called chapel partners, but maybe there's some kind of like spiritual symbolism in that. I don't know. But okay, so what did you think about should I mention one of the characters?
You can go as deep as you want.
What did you think about Margaret Yang?
I liked her. I thought she was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But everybody in that movie is a little bit out there.
Yeah.
In some way.
She seemed like a nice girl. I thought it was really funny at the, in that one scene where Bill Murray, Herman Bloom is saying, "Hey, you mind if I cut in?"
Yeah.
He's like, get yourself your own girlfriend, Mr. Bloom. I'm already spoken for."
That's probably my favorite part of the movie.
And Max is like, "Girlfriend?" Girlfriend? He never even talked about her being his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And already she's like, "Get your own girlfriend, Mr. Bloom. I'm already spoken for."
I love that line.
And then the guy's like, "So, I hear you're a neurosurgeon. Actually, I'm a barber."
I get that a lot. Or the other thing where he's in the barber shop with his dad, and his dad says, "Max, you could do anything. You could become go into politics and become a senator. You could do this or that." He's like, "It's time to face reality, Dad.
I'm a barber son."
I'm a barber son.
But that kid was so good in that movie. It was really funny.
Yeah, it's really well
really
cast.
Convincing. He was very convincing.
I also love the use of music in that film.
It was really good. I liked the lady who played Miss Cross.
She was good.
She was very good. I don't know who she was, but she was brilliant.
Did a great job in the movie.
Very.
So overall, you liked that film too, then?
I did. It was quirky. It was weird, but very, very entertaining and funny.
Yeah, I'm so glad because I love Shawshank, but as far as comedies go, Rushmore isn't my favorite comedy, but it's
not my favorite comedy either. But I think it's going to be up there.
It's up there. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. Alana.
Yes.
We've also been watching a lot of Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
And I came over here a couple of days ago. We watched a great two-parter, Improbable Causes / The Dias Cast, about Garrick
Yes.
and Odo.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that two-parter? From season 3, a DS9.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to remember back now. Is that when Oda goes to his planet?
No.
Oh.
So this is the one where Garrick has his shop bombed.
Oh.
Because we watched a lot of DS9, so...
Yes. Well, I wasn't too sure because I don't always know about what Garrick's going to do. I'm not even sure what I think about Garrick.
Yeah.
Because he's really funny. You know, he acts like a simple tailor.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's right.
He acts like a simple tailor. You don't know, you don't know what he's gonna do because he is a Kardashian. A Cardassian.
Yes.
Not Kardashian. He's a Cardassian. There's a difference.
There is a difference, but not much one. Keep going.
Yeah. He is a Cardassian and they are enemies of the Bajorans.
And also, we believe that Garrick was a spy in his former life.
Right.
Even though he pretends to be a humble tailor.
Right, exactly. But he doesn't really, he's kind of mysterious like that.
Yes. But what did you think of it? What did you think of specifically the interplay with him and Odo?
I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
And, Odo's a shapeshifter.
And the head of security.
And Garrick is a tailor. And I think there was one scene where they go back to his shop and he's like, well, I guess your trousers won't be ready tomorrow after all.
Okay, so what you're talking about, that wasn't with Odo.
It wasn't with Odo. It was with was it Cisco?
No. So one of the running themes on DS9, especially in the early years, is him, meaning Garrick, and Dr. Bashir have breakfast together.
That's Dr. Bashir.
So they have breakfast together. Garrick goes down to his shop. It gets bombed. We later find out that Garrick is the one who bombed it. And Bashir runs down there. He was supposed to pick up his trousers the following day. And Garrick says before going to commercial, he's like, Doctor, I'm afraid your trousers won't be ready tomorrow. But right. the other part I like is the reason Garrick bombed his shop was because there was a hitman at the station that he believed was trying to kill him. And instead of just telling station security that, he bombs his shop so he can get Odo interested in the investigation.
Right.
So there's one point to where they start to chase after the dude who is a hitman. And they're in their shuttlecraft, and Garrick's looking at the console, and he's like, if I read this computer correctly, and I am no expert in it, I just thought that was such a funny thing.
Hilarious.
Yeah. That was the same episode, too, because I know it's been a few days since I watched it. Go ahead. That was the same episode, too, when Odo needed to... I'm sorry. I was talking about... Was that the one... Okay, the one episode where Odo was trying to shift back into liquid. Yes, so it's a two-parter, and for some reason, the parts have different names. The first part is Improbable Causes, and the second half of it is called the Dias Cast, and that was in part 2, the Dias Cast. Okay. And Garrick basically takes in this machine that puts out the sonic wave, which makes it impossible for Odo to shapeshift back in his natural state. That's right. And he's like, I can't do it. Yeah. And then what's interesting is Garrick is interrogating him, and Odo's face is starting to break up. Right. That's right. Because he's not supposed to hold that shape for too long. Yep. To me, that says volumes about Garrick. Like he's not just this good guy. No. But then he's not completely evil either. You never know where you stand with him. Okay. Speaking of Odo, I know we're going to shift gears here because... Oh, no, Odo's like one of my favorite characters. I want to talk about what we watched just not that long ago. Heart of Stone. Heart of Stone, yeah. Yes. That was really interesting because... Tell what happened then. I'm thinking that Major Kira is being crushed by this crystal that is like holding her hostage. Yes. Like really, really crushing her. Her foot stuck. We don't know why. Odo admits, how he feels towards her. So can I give a little bit of a backstory? Yes, go ahead. Okay. So the episode starts, Odo and Major Kira are returning to the station. They pursue a ship that's an enemy ship. and the enemy ship lands on this moon that's very, very destructive. There's a lot of earthquakes on this moon.
Mm-hmm.
They try finding the enemy. Kira's foot gets stuck under a rock, and they try everything they can to get her out from under the rock, but the rock keeps growing, growing, and slowly engulfing her.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I gave some setup for it, go ahead.
Well, and then he refuses to abandon her because, for all he knows, this is really happening to Kira, and he tells her his feelings,
That he loves her.
that he loves her. She says it back to him, and things progress well. He realizes that she's been lying. Can I say that?
Yes. No. Say whatever you want.
He realizes that she's been lying, and that there's something more to why this thing is happening to Kira. Right.
Yes.
And
it turns out
it turns out that wasn't her.
it was a shapeshifter.
It was a shapeshifter.
What did you think of that episode? So first of all, what did you think before you knew the twist in the episode when she says, "I love you too"?
I thought she really meant it.
Okay.
Because she was close to dying. At least I thought she was close to dying.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think here's what I think about what the shapeshifter was doing. Besides the fact that he was loyal to the solids,
Yes.
as they call them, to the humans, the humanoids,
Or the humans.
or the humans, right?
Yes.
I think that the shapeshifter used a weakness of his, which was Kira, to get to him.
That's clearly what happened.
Yes.
What I love about that episode is it's not that you learn so much about Major Kira. Mm-hmm. You learn a little bit about Odo, but what's more interesting is you learn how devious his people are and what lengths they're going to go to sort of trick him in the future.
And he is just so loyal to his friends on Deep Space Nine and the people that he works with.
He's such a great character because he has his own sense of what justice is.
And he's such a defined he's so much in depth.
Yes.
There's more to him than just shape-shifting.
Yeah.
And his people are trying to trick him, and now he's at war with his people,
Which is really, really cool.
Which is probably really confusing for Odo.
Yeah. One thing I don't think gets talked about that much in that episode is the story he tells the other shapeshifter when he thinks he's talking to Kira about his name.
Yes.
What did you think of that whole thing?
Well, I thought because, like I said, they used his biggest weakness to get to him,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that because he trusted Kira so much, he thought that he was telling her, okay, I'm going to tell you the story about my name.
Right, but what did you think about the story itself, though? Because you learn more about the character.
I learned more about him because he thought he was nothing, mm-hmm. because he thought the name meant nothing, which it does. But he said that whenever he was around, when everyone on Deep Space Nine would call him by his name, he didn't feel like he was nothing. And I thought, wow, that's pretty deep. I think
it's a great episode.
Yeah, it is.
What did you think of the B plot with Nog?
That was interesting. You really learn about Nog, I think, because I thought Nog was this, this carefree kid, and I thought, he seemed so young. He was friends with Jake Sisko, right? Yep. I didn't know whether I took him seriously or not until it was, until Commander Sisko did some investigation on, I want to see him do this by himself. Yeah. To really show him why he should be a part of the Starfleet Academy, why he should be enrolled, and that he admitted to what the Ferengi usually do, and that he didn't want to be like his father or his uncle.
Especially his father, though.
Especially his father, yeah.
Because his father was a mechanical genius, mm-hmm. but he didn't have the lobes for business, as Nog would say.
Yeah, he didn't have the lobes, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And Nog didn't feel that he had the lobes either.
Nope.
Yes.
And he wanted better for himself. And
I love the character of Nog because he grows so much
Yeah.
in the arc of the series. We've seen a lot of great episodes of DS9, but there's many, many more to go that I think you're going to really get a kick out of.
Wow.
And, you might even see a few deaths of characters that you like.
Oh.
I don't want to give anything.
That's not good.
That's not good. But it makes it more realistic, though, in a sense.
Okay, so shifting gears again.
Yes.
What did you think about the what did you think about the Ferengi episode?
Well, I'd seen that one before because, as you know, I've seen this show.
I thought it was hilarious.
I did, but I love outside of just Nog, I love the Ferengis as like a B plot on the show. I think they add a good comic relief, but I'm not the biggest fan of episodes where the main focus is the Ferengis because I kind of feel that the humor is too much. I enjoyed the episode and it was a fun episode, but it's definitely nowhere near my favorite episodes.
Really?
No, because it's DS9. There's some good. It's fun to have some laughs, but I like this show better when it's really serious. And it's nice. It's good comic relief, but I think the Ferengi should be used sparingly on the show. But what was your take as somebody who hadn't seen that episode before? Do you want to tell what that episode was about first?
So basically, so Rom, Quark's brother, is supposed to host the Nagus, a Grand Nagus.
No, Quark is supposed
Quark,
to.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Quark was supposed to host the Grand Nagus.
Who is the leader of Ferenginar?
Who is the leader of Ferenginar. And the Grand Nagus, somehow, they see him, but he's changed. He even writes the rules of...
Yeah, he rewrites the rules of acquisition.
The rules of acquisition for the Ferengi people. And they're like, this is wrong. I love the scene where it's like, if you take somebody's money, give it to them?
Yeah,
Like,
give it back to them.
Give it back to them? Like, what? So Quark's over there reading it. Rom's over there reading it. Quark is about ready to faint. And the security guard, Mehadu, is like crying. He doesn't talk, right?
No.
Is he a big guy?
He's a super big guy.
Yeah, and he's crying.
Yes.
And they're like, we gotta figure out what's going on with him. He's not well, he's really sick. Because the Ferengi is all about what they can do to get people's money.
Specifically Latinum.
Yes.
They love gold pressed Latinum.
Do you even know what that looks like?
It looks like basically like a gold bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gold pressed Latinum. So they're greed, and it's like and one of the great lines in that episode is like, Quark is like, yeah, but greed is like the noblest of emotions. Greed is eternal. And I have to remember, they're actually humans. They're not really Ferengi.
Yeah.
Because a human in their right mind would not think that greed is eternal.
No.
Or greed is the noblest of emotions. It was so funny. It was very funny.
It definitely had its moments. And I will say this. The Grand Nagus is played by an actor who I really admire, Wallace Shaw.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Who played one of the teachers in the movie Clueless.
Yep.
He also did an episode of Murphy Brown.
He was also in a movie called The Prince's Bride. He's good in that one.
Yep, he was. And many, many other things. He was...
Inconceivable.
Yep, and he co-starred in My Dinner with Andre. And I think he may have helped write the script for that movie, too.
My Dinner with Andre. I don't think I've seen that.
I don't know if we should watch it.
You didn't like it?
It's not that I didn't like it. I liked it. I'll give you the basic premise of it.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, it's been 20 years since I've seen it, so if I get some of the details wrong, that's why. But if I remember correctly, he is a book publisher. Mm-hmm. And he has a friend of his who is in the same business, but they haven't seen each other in a while. I forget Wallace Shaw's character's name, but his friend's name is Andre. Yeah. And they go out, and he has dinner with Andre, and it's just about their conversation at the dinner table.
Okay.
I think they may have shown him on the train going to the dinner, but the rest of it is just them talking over dinner.
Huh.
I'm glad I've seen it. I don't know if I need to see it again, and I don't really know if you'd like it or if you really need to like it.
Right.
Yeah, but he's good in it though.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. The one Ferengi episode I really liked, and I I think it's called Profit and Loss. It's the one where Quark falls in love.
Oh, that was a great one.
He meets his old love, who's a Cardassian.
Yes.
Comes back to the station. That's a really good episode.
Yes.
But I think generally they play too much into the humor of it all.
And they never and she never, you never see her again.
Never see her again.
And he was willing to give up everything.
Yeah, that was a really good episode.
Yeah, I mean, and then I think it was great because you actually see Quark's emotion.
Yeah,
he really actually cares about somebody.
It's more than just what can they get from me.
Yeah, he really, really loves this woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she has tried to detach herself from him.
He loves her more than his brother Rom.
Yes. Yes.
I will confess to every dirty, scheming, underhanded thing my brother Rom has ever done. This is the first time today where you've seen an episode with Rom. Am I correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, because I didn't know who he was.
What did you think of his character?
I thought he was funny, but I thought he was dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew some things, but I thought he was like... But I will say that he was smart because... In one way, he was smart because he was able to embezzle money from the Grand Nagus.
Yes.
When he was under his state.
Yes.
And he's like, surprise! And
Father would be proud.
Yes, and Quark and Rom were just laughing hysterically. They are so good with those characters.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if we talked about the stage makeup, right?
Yes.
I wonder if how much stage makeup they're wearing because it almost sounds like their voices are slightly distorted.
It's a lot. I've heard different figures, but I know that it took several hours to get into the makeup. So Michael Dorn, who played Worf on TNG, and who becomes a regular cast member on DS9,
yep.
said that one of the things he hated most was doing the makeup.
Oh.
And it almost prevented him from coming over to DS9.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know it's many, many hours a day in the makeup chair.
Wow.
Yes, yes. Alana.
Yes.
We have 2 other films we're going to watch later today.
Yep. The Pursuit of Happiness and The Jerk.
2 movies which I love, but you have not seen.
No, and I'm surprised I haven't seen The Pursuit of Happiness because I actually still have the DVD and I haven't seen it.
I liked it so much I actually read the book that it's based on.
Really?
Yes. And it stars Will Smith, who we've been watching
yep.
of late.
Yes.
In The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, yeah.
So we both loved as kids.
Yes, and we love it even more now.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
I'm curious to see what you think of The Pursuit of Happiness. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Mm.
And The Jerk... I mean, The Jerk, it's not a deep movie, but I just think it's a good, funny Steve Martin film.
Oh, I like Steve Martin.
Yeah, it's not my favorite Steve Martin film.
Yes.
But it's really, really good.
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. It's definitely top 5.
You haven't seen Parenthood?
I haven't seen Parenthood, no.
That's one of that's a classic. That was like in the 80s, and then there was a show that was based on the movie Parenthood.
Yeah, I've heard good things about both of them.
Yes, yes.
But he's made so many good movies. I mean, The Lonely Guy, House Sitter was good. Roxanne was good.
I don't remember seeing House Sitter or The Lonely Guy, but I do remember Roxanne.
The Lonely Guy is great. House Sitter's really good. It's with him and Goldie Hawn, and she's basically this con artist who teams up with him, and he's this architect, I think. Mm-hmm. It's a fun movie. It's not really remembered that well, but I enjoyed it as a kid. And then obviously The First Father, The Bride movie, and so many others. So
he's also in the second one.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay, the second one was okay, but it was weird.
I don't think I'm missing much.
I don't remember. I saw the first one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to show you these films tonight, babe.
Yes. Apparently, there was another Father of the Bride, but it was an older film.
You're talking about the one with Liz Taylor, right?
Yeah, and I did not see it.
I didn't either.
Watch it?
No, I think I should at some point, though.
Yeah.
Just because I am a film fan.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
There are some other films I need to show you, too. There's some animated stuff that you haven't even watched yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of Disney stuff that I haven't seen that you liked as a kid.
I did, and I think you would appreciate them now.
Mm.
I really do. I mean, I think that they're classics now, but I think you would appreciate them now.
Well, you and I have talked about, at some point I want to show you Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, and I really want to see it too.
It's a great movie, but it's super long. At some point I want to show you Citizen Kane. And there's a lot of others.
What is the premise behind Citizen Kane?
I don't want to give too much away because you haven't seen it, but it's loosely based on William Randolph Hearst, and it's about basically. I didn't sleep well last night, so I'm stuttering my words.
It's okay.
Orson Welles plays a super rich guy named Herman Cain, who dies at the beginning of the film, and the rest of it is people looking back on his life and seeing what kind of guy he was as a media tycoon. Yeah.
Okay.
Really, really good film. AFI, the American Film Institute, every few years does their list of the 100 best films ever made, and oftentimes it's number one, depending on the critics they asked.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
see about that.
Yes.
Jaylo,
Jaylo.
did you have any dreams the other night?
I think I may have had a dream last night, but I don't remember.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Oh.
I didn't have any dreams as of late
Yeah.
that I can think of.
Nice.
At least not ones that are vivid.
Okay.
What about you?
No.
No.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. It's like one of these lazy Saturdays.
Yeah, we
you
can
know?
we can keep this shorter.
I mean, I'm just saying in general. I guess the last thing I'll say is it's like, I think because today there might be some rain. I don't know. We might have some rain in the forecast.
Maybe.
And because the weather is starting to change, because today, FYI, is the first official day of summer.
Yay!
Yay! Let's see what happens. It was really beautiful yesterday. It was 84 degrees. I think it's supposed to be a little bit cooler, but tomorrow I heard there's still going to be more sun.
And Multnomah County has finally started phase 1 of reopening.
Yay, it's about time.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
So we're slowly trucking forward.
That's right.
That's all we can do, right?
That's all we can do. All right, Alana Jaylo, unless there's anything else, I think we should wrap this up.
Okay.
You good with that?
I'm good.
All right. Till next time, Jaylo.
Until next time.
Yes. Let's enjoy some movies.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.